Good morning, everybody. Welcome to what I'm proud to say is episode 3 of Enduro Radio. I cannot believe we're keeping this thing going this quick. I figured we'd do 3 in maybe a month or two, not a week and a half, but here I are. And I'd like to welcome motorcycle enthusiasts, enduro lovers, and even people that whiskey clicked on this video because your thumbs are too big. Appreciate y'all the same. Today we are riding Trail 941, which is kind of the spine of Little Naches, really. It kind of takes you up the main road and links pretty much every other trail as far as lower end trailheads, kind of spider off of this thing. And with us, as usual, Mr. John and Destinee and Miss Destinee on the beta cross trainer. Here we go. So we ride this trail a lot. You know, hey, it's not overly arduous. It's kind of a fun ride. It's got some cool switchbacks. But it also links everything kind of. So we tend to just end up on this. And I mean, you could take the main service road out here, but the majority of it is asphalt. So you tend to wear your tires down quite a bit. And, you know, tires cost money. So try to stay on the dirt as much as possible. And the wife ahead of me here, she has not ridden in a couple weeks, so might be a little rusty for the first few minutes, but she usually finds her groove pretty quick. Oh geez, looks like it's still pretty wet. We got some more rain the last couple days out here. Looks like old Johnny's way ahead already. So, I know I promised you guys that we were going to do a couple different things. One was going to be, today's episode was supposed to be about ladies in the sport. But, in the words of the Big Lebowski, some new shit has come to light, man. And I know you guys are a little confused because you're not privy to the new shit, but a cool thing has happened that has caused us to postpone filming that episode because a young lady has been brought to my attention that has become quite the enduro rider, and we are actually going to feature her in the episode. So her and her dad are coming over here in about 3 weeks, and we're going to get to talk to her and follow her around, and I assure you she is an amazing little lady, not just from the land of dirt bikes either, you know, from all aspects in that regard. So just a little heads up on that. That's going to happen in a couple weeks, and I believe that episode's going to air on the 15th of July. So just keep that in mind. So I figured today, let's talk about dirt bikes. At least some dirt bikes, as you could probably already deduce. It's always kind of been a weapon of choice, if you will, to what type of ride you're doing and, you know, the bike you want to get. Because these things are not cheap, you guys, especially if you buy brand new or a year old. You know, you're going to spend a good chunk of coin doing it, especially to outfit it with anything or get it street legalized or anything like that. So, you know, if you're looking to do different disciplines of riding, whether it be motocross or, let's say, dunes, things like that, or you want to convert it in the wintertime to a snow bike, I highly recommend you buy a motocross bike. And everybody makes a really good one these days. You know, your main disciplines and classes in that regard with motocross have been kind of split into two main categories, with, you know, pro supercross simply going to the 250 4-stroke and 450 4-stroke premier classes, so that's kind of going to be the majority of what you're going to get in that regard. But there's still lots of 2-strokes out there, 125s, 150s, and 250 2-strokes, and of course the 85s and the 65s for the little guys. But whatever you choose, if you're looking to race motocross, you know, on an amateur level or go club racing locally, there's pretty much going to be a class for everything. But more to my point is, if you're looking to do a lot of trail riding like this, that's probably not the bike for you. And there's a few different reasons why, really. The suspension is a lot stiffer. They're designed to take brunt impacts from really high in the air, so, and absorb, you know, bumps going really fast, of course, whoops, you know, whooped out ruts, etc. So what you're going to get is a pretty rough ride for out here, and it's not going to be the most comfortable thing for you to do over long periods of time, because sometimes these rides, you guys, we'll be out here 4 or 5 hours going straight, and that just tends to beat the hell out of you if you don't have a cushy suspension. And another thing about those is, you know, as far as motocross tuned bikes, they tend to run racing engines in them. They might not be built to the hilt out of the factory, but some of them are. The problem with that is they generally tend to be very high compression, so you lose a lot of that chuggability for slow speed stuff, especially going uphill. If you've got a tight hill climb that has a lot of corners in it, and you want to be able to slip the clutch and have a, you know, a forgiving amount of power, as opposed to kicking it all up at once up high and, you know, throwing you off your line or what have you. You really want something that's lower compression and smooth, like the Enduro bikes here. Not to say they don't work for you, because there is such a thing as a crossover bike. It takes a little bit of work to put it together, but what a lot of people do in that regard that I've seen is they'll take a motocross bike, whether it be a, you know, a 450 4-stroke or 250 2-stroke, it doesn't really matter per se what it is, and they'll retune the suspension and make it a little more plush to absorb more of these rocks and things like that, and tend to not be as stiff to throw you off your line, because all this stuff here can very easily do just that. And then maybe they'll detune the suspension, but a big thing is they'll put a Recluse EXP 3.0 auto clutch on it, and that is probably the biggest thing I would do if you're going to use a motocross bike, because that deletes the need for you to have that chuggability in the engine and the clutch, where if you're going to climb a tight hill or what have you, it's not going to stall out on you, because it can't. Recluses are they can be your best friend, or they can be your worst nightmare, to be honest with you. They're kind of a pain in the ass to tune, but they are great, especially on 4-strokes. My wife had one in her WR 250F, and it kind of changed her life, really. And we thought about putting one in her Beta Cross Trainer, but the clutch systems on these things, Brembo makes them, they are so forgiving, and the engines are such low compression that you don't really need one. And I was baffled. I thought that was going to be the first thing I did to old Taz here was, you know, throw a Recluse in him, because I had him on the Husky 4-stroke. But I just don't see the need for it. I don't ever really stall this thing out under climbs or anything. I mean, every once in a while, yeah, I make a mistake, but it's just not an arduous thing to do to work this clutch and keep this motor under power, even at low revs, because they are torquey way down low, which is not necessarily indicative of a racing 2-stroke. A racing 2-stroke that's high compression is going to make all its power up top. So for that regard, if you're looking to do this, you know, buy an Enduro bike. If you're looking to go racing, get yourself a motocross bike. They are two very different things, and it's kind of hard to, you know, put into words. I'm kind of doing the best I can here on that, but you really got to ride them to see what I'm talking about. And from experience, I can tell you, riding a motocross bike out here kind of sucks when it's just stock. It's doable, but, you know, even the fact some of them now, even in the motocross world, they do have electric start. But if you don't have electric start on your motocross bike, let's say you're climbing a tight hill and you stall it out and it's steep, well, guess what? Now you gotta kick that SOB to get it to go again. And that can just wear you out more than anything out here, is trying to kickstart a heavy bike on a steep hill without letting it roll back down. That sucks. But if you put a recluse in it, make it full auto clutch, you wouldn't really have to worry about that at all. So if you want to do something like that, you can do that and use it for both motocross racing and enduro riding with that clutch, because they come with different densities of springs. So if you want that thing to hit the power up high for racing, you just swap out those springs, or if you want it to kind of slowly slip at low range, well, you just put in the other springs. It's about a 20-minute deal. Not a terrible thing to have to do. But as you can see, this stuff is, you know, it's a bit slower than your normal racing or air scrambling or motocrossing. Husqvarna does a really good job with a bike that's kind of right in the middle. It's their TX and FX series, which is their enduro cross bikes. They're kind of right in between motocross and enduro, and they seem to work very, very well. As you can tell from Colton Hacker, who I think he's riding an FX 250 if I'm not mistaken, and he's had a very good career in enduro cross. Some of the guys are using 2-stroke, some using 4-stroke. That's the beauty about it out here. It's so forgiving. You can, you know, kind of get whatever you want and make it work. But if you want something that's great right out of the box, get yourself an enduro bike. Absolutely. The big four, in my opinion, the king of enduro bikes as far as rideability, ease of use, low end power, and weight, I've found, is the 300 2-strokes. You really can't go wrong with any of them. They have different attributes, you know, between the big four. And the big four are, of course, KTM's 300 XCW TPI. You've got Husqvarna's TE 300i. You've got, of course, the Beta 300RR, which I'm a little partial to, naturally. And last but definitely not least is the Sherco 300 SER. Sherco does a really good job with their trials bikes, so they put a lot of that engineering into their enduro bikes. So what you get is, you know, proper placement of weight and centers of gravity. So they tend to be very nimble to ride out here. They're not the lightest of the four at all. Matter of fact, KTM, without a doubt, even though they've got all their stuff on it with fuel injection and oil injection, they are only 223 pounds dry, which is pretty amazing. And you can get one of those brand new. A 2020 is $99.99 plus freight and setup, of course. And freight and setup's going to differ based on where you buy it. I know there's some places that charge, you know, $450, and I know the place here in Washington State, they charge $1,500 for freight and setup, which I've always thought was absolutely nuts. That's crazy. If anybody charges you more than $1,000 freight and setup on a new bike, guys, go somewhere else. That's a bit steep. A lot of guys do it for a lot less. Hell, when I bought Destinee's cross trainer from Frank's Motorbikes in Bellevue, Frank charged me no freight and setup. Not to say he can do that on all the stuff, but Destinee's was a leftover 19 I bought in February of 2020. So, you know, he was trying to make room for more inventory, and, you know, he kind of set me up nice in that regard, and I appreciate the hell out of him for it. But the KTM's got a lot of good attributes. Of course, it's a KTM. Those Austrians know their stuff. And that you'll never have huge rideability issues with that bike. A really close contender to that bike is the Husqvarna TE 300i. Also fuel injected, oil injected, so no worry to mix fuel, no carburation to plug up. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. For whatever reason, I don't know, it is exactly $100 more than the KTM counterpart, even though in theory they're made by the same company. So the TE 300i is going to run you $10,099. It is a little bit heavier though, and a wee bit less power, but I wouldn't say you need to get, you know, too caught up in horsepower numbers, because they can tend to be deceiving based on how the bikes function. But the one thing I noticed after throwing my leg over the Husqvarna 300i, and I'd really like to demo some for some video purposes here, so if anybody out there's a dealer and they got an older one or a used or a leftover they'd like me to demo and give you a shout out, let me know. I'd be happy to do it. But I noticed for the taller rider, that Husky really suits you well. I mean, I'm about 6'3", 190 pounds, so I'm kind of tall and lanky, but I was very surprised when I first bought my Beta here and my first day riding it. I had to get used to how small the chassis was relative to my Husky 450. It was a bit of a shocker, actually, to be honest with you. I kind of had to, you know, get used to it. I felt like a polar bear on a goddamn tricycle. But after about 10 minutes, I was just fine. Granted, I had to put double bar risers on it to get the bars high enough. It is for, you know, the shorter rider. If you're, let's say, under 5'10", the Beta 300RR is definitely the bike for you out of the big four. And if you're under, let's say, 5'7", get yourself a Beta cross trainer, because that chassis, you know, it's a hybrid between a trials and an enduro bike. So that chassis is a lot shorter seat height, and you can even get the low cut seats from Seat Concepts. It's actually Beta sponsored, I believe, which is what we did for Destinee when we got her set up for her. Boy, this stuff is greasy today. And third up, of course, the Beta 300. I have no negative comments about this motorcycle. You can take it with a grain of salt if you like. Granted, I own it. I'm partial. I'm biased, you bet. But I've got no qualms with this thing. The suspension out of the box, I haven't touched it a bit, short of setting the sag in the rear. I have had to do absolutely zero anything to this bike. You know, as I mentioned before, with the exception of the bar risers, of course, and that was just to, you know, fit my lanky ass, really. But it's very comfy now. I could even use maybe, shoot, I don't know, half, 3/4 of an inch more rise on the bars, but I'm running out of cable and hose length, to be honest with you. Oh, that's greasy. Destinee might have some trouble coming up over that. We're gonna keep an eye on her. Well, I'll be damned. Nice bed. I'll be damned. No problems whatsoever. Maybe she is getting better than me. Yikes. Of course, Johnny up here on that Husky 450, he's having no problems. That's actually one of the prime examples. That 450 he's riding, yeah, it's a plated enduro bike, but it actually started life as a 450 motocrosser, you know, from the factory. So it is actually a crossover. A company called Taski's Metric Cycle, it used to be in Everett, Washington, got a hold of it and kind of made a cool thing out of it. I bought it from the kid that got it from them. But bulletproof little machine as well. But again, stiffer suspension. That's the one thing Johnny complains about on that thing, is the front end is a bit stiff. We've taken as much compression out of the front as we can. It is still ain't as cushy as old Taz here. So back to my point between the four, the Beta, it was a big factor in why I bought it, is the least expensive out of the four. You can get one of these for $91.99 and have an absolute ball. I think when I paid for this thing, I got the bark busters, the street legal kit, tax, title, licensing, everything out the door. Was like $10,500, which isn't bad. I've seen guys spend $14,000 by the time they got out with everything they put on it. So it's relatively inexpensive when compared to the other three. The Sherco is really close. One thing that impressed me about the Sherco is fuel tank capacity. For whatever reason, the Sherco has the biggest tank out of the four at 2.75 gallons. It has roughly the same fuel economy, which is nice, and it's only $100 more than the Beta. So $92.99, you got yourself an enduro bike and off you go. either way. As far as parts availability on Churcos, I can't really speak to it. I know Frank Motorbikes in Bellevue does a really good job with Churco, and he tries his best to stock parts. But as far as actual availability, order time, lead time, if you break something, he'd be the guy to get a hold of. I really couldn't answer that for you. I haven't had any problems with the Beta stuff, and they're kind of roughly cut from the same cloth as far as manufacturers go. Because it is a big deal, guys. You come out here doing this ride, and you're gonna break stuff. Just a matter of when, not if. As I have a broken front headlight as we speak from an incident with a tree a couple weeks back. My wife did the same exact thing. I couldn't believe it. And one thing, if you're going to do this particular discipline of riding, this is going to be your main deal, is riding single track and out in the woods. I would never get one of these and not get it street legalized. Your possibilities of where you can go and what you can ride open up drastically the minute you slap some blinkers, a horn, and a license plate on this thing. And it is just not worth it not to have it, as we have found out. There's just really no point. Have the dealer do it if you buy it brand new. That's the easiest. Then you don't got to do nothing. Just sign on the dotted line. Here you go. But if you're going to do it yourself, it's not very arduous. You know, you got to run a blinker kit through it. Enduro Engineering and Tusk, I would say, make the best kits. I like the Tusk one because the blinkers don't stick out. They're kind of molded in, so you don't ever have to worry about breaking stuff off. Even the front ones, they're actually molded into the handguards here. So unless you hit something really nasty and really hard, you're probably not going to break those blinkers, which is nice because then you got to mess with wires and all sorts of stuff like that. Kind of want to follow Destiny up this hill here, as it's pretty slimy, and I want to be able to help her if she can't get up it. I always say that a lot, and then she always ends up getting up it anyway. Not that I'm trying to not give her enough credit, but you know, I just don't want her to be stranded if she falls and that bike lands on her or anything in the gnarly spots. I'd rather play it safe than sorry. So I really want her to have a good time out here because she does love this. I don't want her to get to a point where this is frustrating and not fun anymore, because I really love the fact we do this together. And she's pretty good at it. Not the fastest, but she doesn't have to be. This sport's not about speed. It's about control and how you ride the bike. And she does A-okay. All right. After a brief intermission, back at it here. So, I guess the point I'm trying to make with, you know, with the Enduro bike specifically, out of the big four, the KTM 300 XCW TPI, the Husqvarna TE 300i, the Beta 300RR, and the Churco SE 300R. All those bikes are going to be within about $1,000 of each other, so I would recommend you go to their respective dealers and just throw your leg over one, just sit on one. You know, can you touch the ground? Would you have to adjust it? Does it feel top heavy to you? You know, things of that nature. Because you're gonna get roughly the same experience out of the three, unless you're racing professionally, air scrambles and hard enduros, things like that. The different attributes that these machines have with suspension tuning, wheelbase, seat height, stuff like that, is not going to be as big a deal to you. Not even close. I don't even think you'll really ever notice it, but any of the four bikes would do you just great. And ain't nothing wrong with going four-stroke either. I'm just giving you from my experience. If you're looking to come out here and not beat the crap out of yourself and just have a good time and have a nice, easier ride, even when you want to ride the hard stuff, a 300 two-stroke is the way to go. It's the best ratio between lightweight, front-end nimbleness, low-end torque, top-end power, and it's great. They're all going to be between, you know, let's say 42 and 48 horse roughly, and they're all going to be between 220 and 235 pounds. So, and that's a broad spectrum. It's tighter than that, I'm sure. but I never struggle anymore. I used to a lot when I was riding that big 4-stroke. And I come out here on this thing now and I could do this all day, non-stop, and not be worn out, even when we ride some of the gnarlier stuff. It's just so easy. It's like somebody put some sort of gnarly adhesive on your rear tire. The grip is endless, and that attributes from that, you know, low compression. These motors are very forgiving, but there's really nothing they can't get up. Whereas if you go with the 250s or the 152 strokes of the world, you're gonna be wanting for that a little bit more, I guess, is my point. Where you gotta rev them a little more to get the power out of them that you want. Where these, you know, you just kind of effortlessly trudge through with very little problems. So after switching to the 300s, I'm sold. I don't know if I'll ever go back to a 4-stroke for this particular discipline. Now, here's the catch. If you're looking to road these a lot, as far as, you know, getting some DOT tires on them and doing a lot of dual sport riding where you're going to be on the highway for, you know, more time than you normally would on just a regular dirt bike, that's where the big bore 4-strokes are going to come into play, because you're going to get that taller gear and it's not going to rev to the moon, you know, when you're doing 50 or 60 miles an hour. So what you're going to end up with is a lot more comfortable ride. Yeah, it's going to be heavier and it's not going to be as nimble for this tight stuff, but if you're doing a lot of Forest Service roads to the trail and linking up trails, you know, maybe riding from your house down the highway, hitting a mountain road, then hitting a trail and doing a big loop, that's where the 450s and the 500s of the world really, really shine. And they will probably never give you any problems either. Yeah, with a 4-stroke, you got valves that you're going to have to adjust once in a blue moon, but, you know, just change your oil on time and keep it in fuel and keep it chain lube. It's really all you got to do. You don't have to worry about top-end rebuilds as frequently as you do on a 2-stroke. Woo! So, you know, that's kind of a deal there. So, like I say, every bike has its place, and nobody makes a terrible dirt bike anymore. I mean, yeah, you used to have bikes that had a lot of problems back in the day as they were trying to get, you know, fuel injection up and running and map switches up and running. Gas had a horrible time with their 450 4-stroke Enduros. When they would get hot, they would just not want to start. But they've come a long way. If you take Johnny's bike, for example, that's a 2006 carbureted 450, and, you know, he doesn't really seem to have any issues with it. All right, everybody's here. Here we go. Oh, yeah. So you see what I'm talking about? This thing just kind of, you know, scoots. I'm not giving it more than 30% throttle here, and he just wants to take off. That's kind of why I named him Taz. He's kind of like riding a little Tasmanian devil. Wants to go every which way with a big tornado underneath him. Boy, it's heavy ruts today. And last but not least, there's one more category of bikes I'd like to talk to you about, because I kind of had an experience with it with my wife, and it turned out really well. Is beginner riders. If you're looking to maybe get your wife or your kid or somebody into this that hasn't done it a whole lot, because, you know, I've said it before, you come out here for your first little bit, one of two things is going to happen. You're either going to be very intimidated, or you're going to get really pissed off until you kind of get used to it or get the hang of it. There is an odd learning curve to all this, because there's so much to take in as you go along with all the whoops and the ruts and finding the line for your front tire to go into without eating shit. And your brain's trying to process all this information. And shoot, that'll tend to aggravate anybody at first. So, what you really want to try and find, if you can, for the beginner riders and find them a used one. You can get used ones really cheap. There's two specific bikes that I've had really good luck with, and they work like a champ. One of them is the Honda CRF 230. It is a little air-cooled 4-stroke. I've seen a lot of them plated with headlight, taillight, and it's just a 220 some odd cc motor, and it's just a little tractor, and really low seat height, not incredibly heavy, and just easy to ride, electric start. And Yamaha makes an equivalent of it. Oh, I think the wife's trying to get out of that. Which is actually the bike we started her on initially, was the Yamaha TTR 230, also an air-cooled 4-stroke that is just a tractor. We once lived on a driveway that you had to go uphill to get out of it, and I was curious one day, so I pointed that bike uphill. I put it in first gear, and I just completely let out the throttle. I let out the clutch without giving it any throttle whatsoever while sitting on it, and the thing pulled me up the hill. And I couldn't believe it. The thing was damn near stall-proof. And even if you did stall it, the seat height was really low. So if you were going to tip over, you could kind of save yourself. And if you stalled it on a hill, well, hell, the thing had electric start, so no problems. Oh, Jesus. So if you're looking to get somebody, you know, that's, say, late teenager or adult age into this thing, and they're, you know, looking to have something easy to ride, maybe they don't have a lot of riding experience, either of those two bikes are going to do wonders. And for little kids, you know, they also make the TTR in a 125 4-stroke, and I think the thing's got 8 or 10 horsepower, but again, it's a little tractor and it'll get up anything. The gear ratios on it are fantastic. So lots of ways you can go. And if you go for either of those air-cooled, they're not a lot of money. I think when I bought Destinees, you know, 5-6 years ago, it was about $1,600, and it was a 2006, and it was, you know, the thing ran perfectly. We never had any problems with it. Matter of fact, it's still sitting in our shop. We just sold it to our little buddy Mikey, who doesn't ride a whole ton, but, you know, he's kind of a shorter fellow, no offense, bud. So he gets, you know, an easier time riding that thing, and he loves it, you know, so that can work out. We don't have anything extremely interesting to talk about today, as I'm kind of saving that stuff for a later day. And like I said, today was supposed to be the day we were going to film the Ride Like a Girl episode, but due to the new shit that has come to light, we're going to hold off on that and make it a lot better than we originally intended it to be. So as always, everybody, take care of yourselves out there, and damn it, take care of each other. Enjoy the ride. We'll see you real soon. And we're gonna post the rest of today's ride on another video, and we'll try and put the link in the description when I post everything. So good luck to everybody out there. Take care of yourselves.